Hey guys, some people had asked if I would put together some more tutorials about Believe by the Bravery, so I thought I'd do one here about the bass. Now a big obvious problem is that this is clearly not a bass guitar, it's a 6-string, and I don't have a bass to show you guys on. But the good news is, the bottom 4 strings of a 6-string are of course the same as the strings on a bass, they're just 1 octave higher. So you can actually play the correct bass part, and you can take it right over to a bass guitar and play it the same way. But it's going to sound higher because it's on a 6-string. And I usually do this when I'm covering the song. I play it on here just because it sounds cool. So anyway, I'll get right into it and show you guys how to play it on bass, but with the 6-string. Now, it takes place mostly on the 6th and 8th frets, at least for the foundation part of the song. So that's where you're going to spend most of your time. And as I said in the video about the solo, that's actually the harmony of the song is based on the 6th and 8th frets as well. And so it's kind of just the place where you're going to be playing a lot of stuff. So it starts out like this. I'm just going to have you guys watch, and I'll play it really slowly and just watch my fingers because I don't want to explain every note, but it's not as hard to follow because it is only on the lower 4 strings. So starting out on the 8th fret of the, well, it's the 3rd string on this guitar, but it'll be your top string on your bass. So you play this twice at the intro of the song, and then it changes up, and I'll let you guys know. Okay, my amp's off. That was good. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's going to be the first 2 things that you play in the song, and that's before any other instruments come in or singing or anything. So that's just the intro, and I'm sure you're well aware of that if you're trying to learn the song. Now, once the intro is done, which I mean by intro I mean those 2 little parts, then it goes into repeating that, but it doesn't have the same second thing. So you're going to actually do that same thing a 3rd time, which is your new part 1 of 2 of the pairs of segments that go together as you're playing, but you're going to have a different thing in the second part. And that sounded really complicated and confusing, but it's not. It's just you play that 3 times, and the 3rd time is when all the other instruments have started playing, and then you play a different thing. So here we go. Twice of that. Now I'm moving on into the intro that comes before the singing. See, it changes from being, you go and you play this note 3 times, and then you bring it down to the 6th fret on that lower, well, 2nd to the bottom string instead of the 8th. And that makes a huge difference when you're playing the actual song because it sounds wrong and it clashes if you play the 8th fret like you did on the first part. So as you're playing through the song, you're going to do that a few times. And I don't know the exact numbers because I haven't memorized the numbers, but I will cover it in a second, you can see. There's a part after you play that a couple times where it changes, and that's kind of the end of the verse. It goes, so it gets back into that, but you play that 8th fret, 8th fret, and then the 6th, and then it goes up to here, and then down. And then once you get into the chorus of the song, then you're going to be playing on the bottom string, and it's really, of course, really low on the bass guitar. Just 4 notes per beat, so I mean per measure, so quarter notes. And it's the 6th fret, the 9th fret, because the harmony of the song is on the 6th and 9th when you're on the bottom and on the top 2 strings. So, and then 4th fret, and then 3rd fret. And that's the same thing used for the bridge, the solo, basically that, and then the part that I showed you for the verse. And that's really all there is to it. And of course the song closes with repetitions of the chorus, so that's going to be all you're playing at the end of the song after the verse. So that's actually pretty simple. I'm going to cover it now, and you can hear the way that that sounds in the verse. And I'm actually going to turn this down lower than I normally would so you can hear the cover a little more loudly. repeats the verse, although it's half the length because the second verse is half the length of the first, and then it repeats that lower string stuff for the rest of the song. So I hope that gives you a good example of how to play the bass, because the bass does form kind of the core of the song and you hear it right at the start, and so it's kind of a cool thing to play. Now, just for a little jazz up at the end of this tutorial, I'll turn up the gain a whole bunch and use a different pickup and make it sound substantially different to give you an example of what you might do with this if you were to kind of do some improv in the cover. Because generally, if you're not actually playing a bass, it's not going to sound like bass, and you're not going to want to use a 6-string guitar as a bass. So, as opposed to what I just did, let's say you did something more like this, and I'm spending this whole time fiddling with amp settings. Here we go. Sounds a lot more ridiculous and a lot less like bass, but it sounds pretty cool. So you can use that when you're playing the song if you like to do improv. But anyway, I'm going to do another video about the verse and the chorus lead guitar parts, so look for that. But for now, this should help you to do the riff on the bass and play the bass part if you actually have a bass guitar, because like I said, those lower 4 strings, same as the bass strings, same frets and everything. You just watch a couple of videos, you'll see him playing on those frets, and then he moves on down there. And it's the correct way to play it. I just can't show you how it sounds on a bass because, well, I don't have one. But anyway, hopefully this is helpful to you guys, and look for some more videos soon.